Alrighty. Once again, welcome back, everybody, to the Wide Eye Sports Podcast. You got Brenner hosting as always. This week we're down one member, Riley, but we do have Spoon and we do have Dalt joining us here live today. We are going to jump right into things. This is our post wild card round, divisional round preview. Every single week, we give our biggest MVP and our biggest loser from the previous week. We normally do a game of the week, but we're going to save that till a little later on in the show. We'll get right underway. I'm going to give my biggest MVP from last week, which was the 49ers. With
Okay.
Now, I know what you guys are going to say.
I see where you're going with
Yeah, I think you guys can tell where I'm going with this. They had the Detroit Lions barely skim past a Rams team that, let's be honest, kind of got fucked over by the referees at the end of that game. In my opinion, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
I missed that game. I
Okay.
was so downtrodden after the Cowboys lost that I went and got very drunk.
That's fair.
I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting at a kind of restaurant bar watching the end of the Cowboys-Packers game, and that game did come on the TV, but I literally just kept ordering drinks.
So for those of you
over and over again, so I didn't get to watch much of it. So
for those of you who don't know, what happened at the end of that Detroit LA game? There was a vital 3rd and 14 game on the line. Rams going down the field, down one, where Puka Nacua was defensively held, defensively pass interfered with, and hit as a defenseless receiver, all in one play with no flag thrown, which left them with a 4th and 14 to convert to try to save the game. They didn't convert it. So
I did see that, yeah.
So there was that one, and then also earlier in that drive, there was a no call where Stafford gets high load, and then after he gets high load,
He gets stepped on.
Steps on his shoulder,
Yep.
and it hurt. So
I saw that one as well. I didn't know that was all in the same drive. I thought
yeah, that was
like,
all in this final drive to end the game. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Both
so there
no
were
calls.
no calls, and so it was little touchy. You know, Detroit wanted to whine and complain when there was the Cowboys situation. They wanted to be loud and vocal about how bullshit the referees were, but when it's in their favor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody says
Not
nothing.
there.
I
I'm
didn't
going to be
hear
honest.
anything.
I think I'm the only NFL or Cowboys fan that will blatantly call out the refs if we win. And I think it's because of the refs. I will absolutely say that I do not like that as a win. I like my team to play well, fire on all cylinders, and not have to rely on stupid calls for a win.
Yeah, I kind of got off track. Back to my original
But
point.
back to it is
Back
the
to
49ers.
the original point. 49ers. 49ers get I'm going to call it a walk in the park to the Super Bowl. They either get the 9-8 Packers in the NFC Championship or the
9-8 Buccaneers.
Sorry. The 12-5 Lions, who were barely able to swing past the Rams, or the 9-8 Buccaneers if they beat the Packers, which I think we all expect them to. So
shout out Baker Mayfield for taking the Bucs back to the playoffs.
Quiet down over there. I haven't even given my MVP yet.
So yeah, hold on. And then my biggest L of the week is the Cleveland Browns. I've been shouting Believeland for weeks. I thought both the Browns and the Rams were going to rock it this weekend. Neither team did. It was rough. It was a rough weekend for Believeland. I felt bad. You know, they got to watch. A lot of those guys are all, Ohio State fans. They have to watch Michigan win a national championship, and then they got to watch the Ohio State's C.J. Stroud knock their own team out of the playoffs. So tough week for Cleveland. And on top of all that, they had to watch Baker Mayfield, a guy they cut, go and win a playoff game against the Philadelphia Eagles and defending NFC champions. So just an all-around bad weekend for Cleveland Browns fans for the most part. But with that, I will pass it off to Spoon for his MVPs and L's.
I just wanted to counter what you kind of said, too, with the 49ers, how literally every single person that I've talked to about their Super Bowl potential matchup, the team coming out of the NFC, it was always Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Niners, Cowboys, Eagles. Not a single person ever said Detroit, Tampa, or Green Bay.
Nope.
So yeah, if I'm a Niners fan, I'm really excited coming into the divisional round this week.
Yeah.
But my MVP of the week is probably Baker Mayfield.
Shout out Baker.
This is probably the third or fourth time I've picked him as my MVP of the week, and he's just. I mean, I thought this game was going to be a lot closer. I actually had the Eagles upsetting, but it wasn't even a close game. Dude. Baker went out there, he made zero mistakes, showed what Cleveland was missing out on. What the Panthers had him last year lining. It was last year, right?
Yeah.
Lining up in the practice squad as a defensive lineman.
Yeah, they had him at practice squad, scout team, D line.
And here he is leading Tampa Bay, a 9-8 team. They did sneak into the playoffs, but they just beat what I thought was a superior Philadelphia Eagles team.
I definitely thought they were superior to the Bucs, and I'm gonna say this: like, I think everybody wrote the Bucs off this season. I don't think anybody. I had the Saints winning that division by a landslide. Like, I'll be upfront about that. This Bucs team all year continuously was doubted as they have Baker Mayfield, they had Brady, the Mike Evans is older, the defense isn't what it was. The defense is what it was. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad White are all fucking studs right now. They are playing like prime versions of themselves, and they have been all season. It isn't like, the past 4 weeks they've been hot. No, this is who they've been all season, and they've continuously fought and ground and clawed their way through this season, and it showed.
And another reason why he's my MVP this week is because out of all the quarterbacks that played this week, I know Joe Flacco's towards the he literally came off the couch. I don't think he's looking for a long-term deal anywhere. No, Baker is, and I think the fact that he won this game against the Eagles in the playoffs, he has one win these playoffs, and he's moving on to the divisional round. I think that shows Tampa Bay enough right there. Like, hey, he can win playoff games. Give him a contract.
Did you see the Browns stat? The Browns have won one playoff game since 1955. Baker Mayfield's won two.
Quarterback.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield was the one win they had, and Baker Mayfield now has twice as many wins because he now has two.
I love that. But yeah, and then I was gonna let Dalton kind of tackle the big loser because I know that we have the same one, but I'm just gonna say that my biggest loser is the NFC East.
That's fair. That was my original biggest loser, and then I changed it to the Browns.
NFC.
I think it's the NFC East. Period. I'll let Dalton go further in depth with the Cowboys. I'm pretty upset about that. I mean, 48-32. It wasn't 48-32.
No, it was over. It was 30-0.
Yeah, it was over whenever it was 27-0. It was over then. This is just a bunch of garbage time scoring that the Cowboys had. Green Bay beat the shit out of the Cowboys this week. Same goes for Philadelphia. Never had a shot. They were never in that game. Tampa Bay beat the shit out of Philadelphia. Yep. It just shows how weak I think the NFC East is, and how we all looked like fools all year. We all thought the NFC East was great. Like, both teams, the Cowboys and the Eagles, clinched playoffs 4-5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we lost to two teams that literally clinched last week. Like, that's embarrassing. So if I was an Eagles or a Cowboys fan right now, which I am one of them, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Dalton, go ahead, dude. Take it away.
All right, I'm gonna say something that might sound a little weird. I'm just gonna give both of them my MVP and my loser at the same time. Loser, Cowboys. MVP, Dak Prescott. And I'll tell you why. Not based off of his performance in any sort of a way. 3 picks and 2 pick sixes in one game is insane. After having 9 picks all season, he plays his worst game. But he's still going to be the highest paid quarterback in the league next year. He's getting a contract extension. So, like,
as of right now.
I mean, well, he's got a no trade clause, so they can't get rid of him.
Well, I mean, what I mean by that is, like, they could structure it in a way where next year isn't his highest paid year. So he could be higher paid down the road than he would necessarily be next year, but the highest average annual. I don't know if potentially supersede Mahomes' highest average value. So
my point is he's really got nothing to worry about at the end of this year. Granted, if he would have if the Cowboys would have had a deeper playoff run, he would have had a little bit more leverage. But the fact that he can't get traded, he knows he's going to get paid some big bucks next year, whether he is the highest paid quarterback or not. But my biggest loser is absolutely the Cowboys. That was a sad game to watch, especially at home. I bought those tickets thinking it was a shoe-in.
For those of you, hold on. For those of you who don't know, go head over to our Instagram, just at White Eye Sports on Instagram. Dalton made his very first NFL game debut as our in-stadium reporter this weekend. First
and last.
Never
going to a Cowboys game ever again. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not true. That's not true. He's just
you got the jinx on
he's
you
just
now.
he's just a little defeated. For those of you who don't know as well, Spoon started his Cowboys career 0-4 at live games. 0-5.
It was either 0-3 or 0-4. I don't remember.
I think it was 0-4 live in person at games.
Being a Cowboys fan,
they had to play the Bears for him to break that streak. So shout out Riley. But
they broke it. I'm fine with that.
So there was a lot going into this game. I never really thought the Cowboys were really out up until I want to say like the beginning of the fourth quarter.
I think the end of the third quarter update was the one.
That's just me being hopeful. I never really want to count my team out. Dak does have a few fourth quarter comebacks. And if he doesn't throw those 2 pick sixes, the game would have been 32-34. And I think that they really could have put a drive down at the end to at least get Brandon Aubrey a go-ahead field goal for the win. But, man, it was really just so disheartening and disappointing. Like I said, 2 pick sixes from a guy who was 2-3 weeks ago a potential MVP candidate. And then you got Dan Quinn, who I think should not come back as the Cowboys defensive coordinator. We desperately need somebody else. Dan Quinn is showing his true colors. He was the defensive coordinator for the Falcons whenever they blew that huge.
He was the head coach. He was the head coach for the Falcons.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, he was a main leg for one of the reasons why the Patriots came back and won. He is unable to adapt. He sets a play style and he sticks to it no matter what, even if they're losing and just absolutely getting torched. Which, I mean, you got to move on.
All the best D coordinators do that, though. All the good ones. It's the weird how that works out. But when the best D coordinators are getting their asses beat, they double down. It's the weird. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I've seen it a lot.
Brenner, are we moving on to this week's games, or are we going to be able to talk about these last week games a little bit?
Any closing thoughts you have on last week's games? Go for
it. All
right,
perfect. So I just want to point out, in Dalton, I'm talking about the same game here.
Yep.
Last week on the pod, you heard me. Everybody was, all 3 of you guys were Cowboys. And I was like, I was like, this game scares me a little bit. And I said the reason why. I said that if we can't stop the run, we're not winning this game. And what the fuck happened? Aaron Jones went off for 118 yards by himself, 5.6 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns.
I just want to say real quick, why are the Cowboys using something all season? They're passing well and they're doing man coverage well. They did neither of those things this game. They tried running the ball and doing zone coverage, and it fucked them.
Well, it happened all year. Every time that we played a team that had a winning record, they ran the ball all over us. Every time. And that's why I'm just like, man, it's tough to sit here and say, oh, Dan Quinn, he might be the head coach of the Seattle Seahawks. If I was the Seattle Seahawks, I'd be like, dude, every time you played a good team, your defense was just not there. They can't stop the fucking run at all. I don't know what kind, and watching, oh man, it's just watching the personnel that we have out there, for the run stop. We don't have any true linebackers out there at all. He was literally using people the size of safeties and the size of cornerbacks going into linebacker. And it's like, you can't do that whenever you're trying to stop a ground and pound team. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what Green Bay did. They ran all over us the whole time. And I also want to point out, so first of all, get rid of Dan Quinn. I don't care if he goes to Seattle at this point. Get rid of his ass. Sure, we'll bring somebody else in. Absolutely. I don't care. Hopefully they go back to the traditional linebacker position and just be like, oh, we need a big body there.
Let me ask you guys something. I want both of your opinions on this. If Dan Quinn going away means Micah Parsons going away, do you still do it?
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, me too.
I love Micah Parsons to death. I really do, but I still think
I hate Dan Quinn more.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I really don't like Dan
I don't
Quinn at
hate
this
him.
point right now.
Whoa.
I mean, he did good in the games that we should have won, which is like, oh yeah, he really stepped up, showed how good of a defensive coordinator he was. But it's always the big games. It's kind of like Dak Prescott in big games. Dan Quinn in big games can't get it done.
Yeah, no,
So move on
I
from him.
feel that. I feel that.
And I also think that what's happening right now in Cowboys Nation is they're basically saying get rid of everybody. Michael Irvin went on, he posted a video on Twitter and he said, hey, send them all away. At first, I agreed. I said, hey, yeah, get rid of all of them. I literally sent a message in our group chat. I said, Lamb, bye. Prescott, bye. Parsons, bye.
Nah, you don't want to get rid of
bye.
CeeDee Lamb.
McCarthy, bye. I don't want to get rid of CeeDee Lamb. I really don't want to get rid of Parsons, but if he does leave, I mean, I get it. It's fine. He is what benefits him so much as a defensive end is that he's quick. But whenever he gets like a big body in front of him or two big bodies in front of him, which is what's been happening, he'll get double teamed. He's non-existent. He can't do anything.
Yeah, no,
Finally
he's
got-
not.
It's like him
got-
compared to Myles Garrett. It's two completely different sides.
Yeah,
Myles Garrett
finally got a
will run
holding
his
call.
ass over.
yeah, he did finally get a holding call. He got a holding call in back-to-back plays, I think, wasn't it?
But Parsons can't run anybody
2
over.
out of
So
3
that's
plays?
why I'm just like, if he leaves, it's fine. I don't want to get rid of CD. Now, here I come in on Dak Prescott. I just want to point out that everybody right now is saying get rid of Dak, send him away. I will admit he made some piss poor decisions. He was trying to force it to CD, and that's where you just got to, as a coach, one of those interceptions that I watched that he threw, it was actually the pick six. The one that I watched him throw, I was like, dude, you literally had Cooks wide open on the right side of the field. Why are you trying to force it to CeeDee Lamb? That's where coaching comes in. You have to, as a coach with Mike McCarthy, you have to go in there and tell him, like, hey, do not force it to CD the whole time. CD will get his own. He will. But he was getting double covered the whole game.
Yeah.
You can't force it to your best receiver in that situation. You have to let somebody else step up, which is exactly what happened in the Bucs game. Mike Evans was getting covered. Threw it to the second, what's his name? The second string receiver over there in
Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
No, the other one. The one that fucking went off yesterday for like 180 yards.
Oh, fuck, what's his name? He woke up pissed.
Yeah,
He woke up pissed.
He woke
Oh
up
God,
pissed.
how are we waking up? How are we
How are
fucking
we-
up his name?
Every time
I
he wakes
mean-
up pissed, he fucking scores a touchdown, and it's it's hilarious, honestly. But I can't think of his name right now. But that's Baker knew to do that. Why can't Dak understand to do the same thing? Has to
Especially
do
when you got a
different
tight end like Jake Ferguson, you got Brandon Cooks, you
Yep.
got Jalen Tolbert, who's been playing really well as a wide receiver 3. So
Yeah, hold
And
on, let me.
David Moore, I think, right? Is that who it is?
I want to say
I
that's
don't want
it.
to say it's.
It is Bucks. Yeah, David Moore. You're
I don't
right.
know. But
You're right.
anyway,
You're right.
if Baker can figure that out, why can't Prescott figure that out?
Well, dude, Kate Otten had 8 catches for 89 receptions or 89 receiving yards. 8 receptions for 89 receiving yards. Sorry, I couldn't
Yep.
talk for a second. I was
And
looking at
that-
8
89
receptions.
receptions.
My point
Yeah.
being is that literally could have been Brandon Cooks and Jake Ferguson. But Jake Ferguson did go off because towards the end of the game, Prescott realized, like, oh, they're double teaming CD the whole time.
Yeah.
Let's start throwing it to Jake Ferguson. And the next thing you know, Jake Ferguson ends up with 3 touchdowns. Like, it's
Yeah,
just, there's a
crazy.
lot that needs to happen with this Cowboys team. I think it all comes down to coaching, though, at this point. I don't think it really, I'm not really mad
Get
about
rid of
any of the
McCarthy.
players. I'm not pissed off about any of the players. I don't think we need to get rid of any of them. I think it all boils down to the coaching staff and the personnel that we are putting out there on the field.
All right. Well, with all of that being said, we have now had our Cowboys rant of the day. I ranted about the Lions. At the end of the day, good job, Detroit. Good job, Green Bay. You both won your games. You dominated. We doubted you. Congratulations. Congratulations to Kansas City. Congratulations to Buffalo. Congratulations to Tampa Bay. And then the 2
Houston.
1 seeds. And then did I leave
Texans.
anybody out? And Houston. I would like to give a shout out to CJ Stroud Rookie of the Year, no question about it. So with that, we're going to move on, though. We're going to move on to the divisional round matchups, and we're going to take a look. We're going to dive deep. We're just going to communicate about it a little bit. But before we do that, we're going to start off with the records. Last week, we all predicted what we thought was going to happen, and here is the standings currently. So there's a three-way tie for first between me, Riley, and Dalton at 3-3, and Spoon was 2-4. So that is that. We're 500 for the most part. Spoon was a little off.
I wish, if I wouldn't have changed my pick at the last second, I would have been 4. I would have had 4 wins.
Yep. Dalton changed his Cleveland-Houston pick to Cleveland on, I believe, Friday.
I am a believer in the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud right now, and I'm being honest. If anybody in the AFC can beat the Ravens, I genuinely think that it is the Houston Texans and this explosive offense that they have come out with.
So we'll dive into that game first. How about that? We just dive right into that game. So
I'm very excited. I'm very excited about that game.
Excuse me. Houston's been really hot lately. Baltimore's got the 1 seed. They did play back in week 1, these two teams, in which Baltimore won 25-9. That was CJ Stroud's first ever start. So it's a little bit of an asterisk, but CJ went for 242 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 4 carries for 20 yards, 420 blaze it. And then Lamar went for 169 passing yards, 0 touchdowns, and an interception. So not his best game by any means either. Quite a bad one for a guy who's going to win MVP. He did have 6 carries for 38 yards, but even that's nothing to, love right there. So I think if Houston can keep him to that kind of stat line, I think they have a good shot of winning this game the way CJ's playing. And a few notes from that game: Keaton Mitchell did not play in that game. It was still what's the other kid's name? He got hurt. It's blanking. I'm totally blanking on his name. Total brain fart.
Don't got it.
Can you look it up? Yeah, look up that week 1 game and look at the box score and it'll tell you. But he got hurt. And so Keaton Mitchell took his spot essentially. I'm gonna feel so dumb whenever Dalton says the name. It's gonna make me feel so upset. And then another key note from that game is it was a 2-possession game until like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So it was a close game. It ended 25-9, but it really didn't feel like 25-9.
Was he a receiver?
No, it was a running back.
Running back. We got D. Pierce, Singletary.
No.
Noah Brown, those were the rushers that they had.
At that week 1 game?
Week 1, yep. D. Pierce for 11 carries, 38 yards. CJ Stroud, 4 carries, 20 yards. Devin Singletary, 7 carries, 15 yards. And then Noah Brown, 1 carry for a negative yard.
Hold on. I'll figure it out. Give me 2 seconds here.
And then receiving, you got Nico Collins, Roy Woods, Tank Dell, Noah Brown.
I can't remember who I was looking at here. Hold on. Player stats. J.K. Dobbins. God, there it was. J.K. Dobbins. You were looking at Houston's.
Yeah.
J.K. Dobbins.
My bad.
Golly, it was J.K. Dobbins. I'm an idiot. I can't believe I forgot J.K. Dobbins' name. All right, but anyways, so Keaton Mitchell, obviously, I think is an upgrade from J.K. Dobbins, or the way Keaton Mitchell's been playing recently. Other than that, I'm taking Baltimore in this game. Riley, who's not on the show this week, is taking Houston. Riley's taking Houston.
Okay. I mean, are you?
Yeah. I'm asking you guys. Yeah.
So my deal with this is that Houston's hot, red hot right now.
Very hot.
Baltimore starters haven't played in 21 days. I know that they're going to be well rested, but are they going to be a little rusty here?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
That's the way they play.
That's the only thing that worries me, because realistically, I'm looking at this line.
They're getting Mark Andrews back.
I know that, and I'm looking at the line, and I'm like, Ravens -9 right now. Like
I like
crazy.
Houston +9. I like Houston +9.
I love Houston +9 here. That's why I'm saying that.
Can you? Okay, so real quick, I think you guys have explained this to me before, but explain to me the way that works. So I know that
right now the Ravens.
Hang on, real quick. Hang on. Let me say this. So I know that means Ravens -9. I know that means they have to win by 9 points, right?
Right.
Yes.
So what does Houston plus 9 mean?
That
So if
means
you
they have
take
to
Houston-
lose by less than 9 points or win the game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha,
they lose,
okay.
but if the Ravens win by 9 or more, that Houston plus 9
Doesn't hit.
Doesn't hit.
But if
The Ravens win by 8.
then Houston plus
And
9
Houston
hits.
plus 9 hits. There you
Gotcha.
go.
Okay.
So that's
Perfect.
I was
Thank
looking at the line too, and I'm like, I really want to take Houston with this -9, but
Especially as hot as they are, dude. I mean,
I
I will
know,
say
it's-
this though. First ever defensive triple crown team in the Ravens.
I know.
First
Yeah.
ever.
and that's why
Ever. Sacks,
I
takeaways,
don't,
and scoring. They led
That's why
all
I-
3 categories. They're the only defense to ever do it.
That's why I don't want to take Houston here. I am going to take Baltimore. They
Yeah,
are
me too.
what I know that they've had 21 days. Are going to be a little rusty. I think that they'll be rusty at least for like the first quarter, but I do see they're well
Put me
rested.
down.
They're
put
ready
me
to
down
go.
for,
Put me
for
down.
Ravens as well.
Yep.
I got
I'm taking the Ravens here.
so we got Baltimore.
I will give a shout out to
Baltimore,
Riley though.
Baltimore, Riley taking Houston.
I will give a shout out to
Taking the
Riley.
underdog.
Though. The last time that Lamar Jackson had a first round bye in the playoffs and he had 21 days off, they immediately lost and they playoff exits.
Yep.
So
I
hopefully-
agree. I concur. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be.
hopefully it doesn't happen this time, but I do.
I want to see Lamar Jackson get a Super Bowl. It's what I need. I need it.
Yeah, he's gonna win two more games, right?
He's got to win 3 more games. He's got to
Yeah,
win
yeah.
divisional,
Well, to
championship,
get-
Super Bowl.
to get to the
That's what I
Super Bowl,
mean,
he's got to
to
win
get
two.
to the Super
Yes.
I don't want him to get to the Super Bowl. I want him to win it. Give a shit if he gets there.
All right.
Vikings have been to 4 Super Bowls. Who cares about that? They only care if you win it.
Bro,
All right,
Well,
so,
let's move on to the biggest point spread this weekend.
which
Which
is
is Green Bay.
Green Bay and 49ers.
Go.
it's gonna be an interesting game.
I mean,
What if Green Bay upsets? What if Green Bay upsets right now?
if Green Bay upsets, I'm gonna have to delete Twitter. I won't be able to deal with
You won't-
Green Bay Twitter.
I'm
I
gonna have
won't-
to.
I'm-
I'm gonna have to leave the group chat because we have 2
Oh.
Packers fans in there. You know, Brenner, you're in
Cowboys,
it too.
Cowboys Twitter is in shambles right now, and also I cannot stand the amount of haters. And I hate our fan base that drives all these other people to hate the Cowboys so much. I keep seeing videos of people talking to Kyle Shanahan, and he was saying, what did he say? At the second quarter of the Green Bay Dallas game, he's like, we were already preparing for Green Bay. Bro, fuck you, okay? Let the game play out, okay? You don't have to be a hater like that, bro. Like, just stop. Get help.
Stop it. So
Um,
I would like to say about this Packers game. Packers are set to play the 49ers again. This happened 2 other times recently. Granted, both of the times the Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback. Green Bay, since in the past 20 years, is 0-4 against the San Francisco 49ers in the month of January. San Francisco has a top 3 defense and top 3 offense, scoring-wise. San Francisco is number 2 in score percentage and 18th in turnover percentage. Green Bay, I think, will need to play amazing, and Brock Purdy will have to have a mid-season-esque stroke on the field again for Green Bay to win this game. He will have to choke, essentially, for
Which he
Green
has
Bay.
done before.
Yeah, which is I'm saying this is what needs to happen, and it's happened before. I'm not saying it's impossible. And last little tidbit: LaFleur and Shanahan are even. They're 3-3 against each other as head coaches, but Shanahan is 2-0 in the playoffs.
Mhm. I'm just gonna
So-
go on record saying I do not want any remaining NFC teams to win the Super Bowl. I don't care who gets there. I want Ravens or Texans. That's it. That's all I want.
There's 2 I would be fine with, and it's the winner of the other NFC game, not this NFC game.
The Bucks.
I'd be fine with the Bucks winning with Baker because that's a true Cinderella
If you
story.
say
I
the
would love that.
I'd
Lions,
be
I
cool with
will
that.
fucking kick you right now.
Listen, man, coming from a Cowboys fan who has
Fuck Detroit.
suffered so much heartbreak, I think Detroit deserves it just as much.
But
as they do.
hold on, let me go ahead and clear something up about the
Oh, he's
fucking
just in Mike's-
Detroit
oh, he's
Lions.
just in
Oh,
Mike.
God.
You just hit the button. All right. Here's the
Okay.
thing: the Lions, poverty ass franchise, 2 playoff wins in the history.
So do
of
they
their
not
franchise
deserve it?
Hold on. Since the merger, right? 2 playoff wins. I am not saying they haven't gone through it. What I'm saying is they don't know what real pain is. If they make the Super Bowl and lose, they will, for the first time in their franchise history, experience true pain. Going 0-16 hurts, but you know what hurts worse than that? Believing your team can win a Super Bowl and falling this short.
I disagree. I would rather my team get to the Super Bowl and lose than go 0-16.
I think I'm on that side as well. I would listen if the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl this year. If they
I'd be happy. Yep.
I would have been happy right there. Even if we would have lost, I would have been talking so much shit like, "Hey, we were at least fucking here, bitches." Like, I don't give a fuck.
Exactly. And winning an NFC championship. Yep. You have that flat.
There it is. Nobody else can talk shit about winning an NFC championship anymore.
Nobody even talks about
it. Hey, who won the 2007 NFC championship, guys? Exactly. Nobody gives a shit. You know what they care about? They care about winning the Super Bowl, because at the end of the season, if you go 0-16 or if you go 12-5 and make the Super Bowl, you know what that means? That means you didn't win the Super Bowl. No matter what.
He's both end up right now. He's like, who did win?
Exactly. But my point is, nobody remembers it off the top of their head. It goes away.
I want to guess it was either the Packers or the Saints.
No, you're way off.
Hold on.
Am I really?
The 07. Hold on. 06-07 would have been the Indianapolis Colts.
Do you guys want to hit NFC East?
Or what?
Oh,
NFC
that's easy then. That's easy.
Oh, it was Rams, or it was Patriots Giants. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah,
Giants.
It was one of the years the Giants won it all.
Yeah. It was one of the 2 years. It was the 06-07 season. Yeah. So, but anyways, and my point is that nobody cares if you win the NFC championship or the AFC championship.
Let me get a side report real quick. Hey Vic, would you rather your team get to the Super Bowl and lose, or would you rather them go winless for the whole season? What is worse for you, getting to the Super Bowl and losing, or going winless for your entire season?
Yeah.
What? That's an accomplishment.
No, hold on. Here, let me speak for a second. So the thing with going 0-16 is when you're 0-8, you're like, okay, cool, whatever. We're gonna lose a lot. Who cares? After the first 5 to 8 weeks, you no longer care. You're like, fuck it, whatever. We're a losing team. We're gonna get the number 1 overall pick. Making a Super Bowl and losing is brutal. You think that your team is about to achieve the pinnacle of success. You are about to nail the perfect job.
Listen, you just asked us. You said, what team won the NFC Championship in 2007? None of us can answer it.
Yeah.
But do you remember who went 0-16? Everybody fucking remembers that.
Yeah, because
I don't want to be remembered for that. Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck that shit. Everybody would be making fun of the Cowboys for fucking 10 years.
Okay, but hold on. Who gets made more for losing? Cowboys for losing X playoff games forever in a row, right? 2 playoff wins since '98, or the Browns for going 0-16 one
year. Would have made it to a Super Bowl in our lifetime.
But hold on. Who gets made fun of more, the Cowboys or the Browns?
Cowboys.
Exactly.
Yeah, because everybody hates the Cowboys, so we're gonna get made fun of no matter what.
But my point is,
I would rather if we went 0-16 though. We would be hearing that for years over playoff.
All right, another way to look at it. Would you rather try to climb a mountain and never make it, 2 feet up the mountain? You break your leg at the bottom. You look weak. You look stupid. Or make it almost to the very top of the mountain and then fall all the way back down.
Listen, dude, at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what all these haters are saying. I don't care if you're a Seahawks fan talking shit on the Cowboys. Guess what? We still made the fucking playoffs.
Yeah, but you're in the same spot. You're in the same spot as the Panthers are now, except you have a worse draft pick.
We were at least closer than they were.
Do not.
We were closer than they were. We at least had a chance.
I was about to say we're not in the same spot. We are in the same spot as we aren't going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Not franchise wise. Not franchise wise. No.
I'm just saying nobody for a second.
What I meant. Nobody's in the Panthers boat that way.
Thought the Panthers were getting to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, nobody. I'm not saying
I would rather
wise as a whole
climb the mountain and get almost make it. I'd rather put in all that effort. And it's like, you know what? I tried.
Well, you tried either way.
Gave it everything I had. Yeah, but it's at least.
But which one's going to hurt more?
The 0-16, because everybody's going to remember that.
Man.
No.
Everybody's going to remember that
You
for
have
years,
accomplishments.
dude.
You have
But
accomplishments.
I meant to
you have
you,
a
which one's
conference
gonna hurt more?
championship. You have a conference championship or a division championship.
Nobody rests
to
their
hang.
head on division championships.
so-
or
Nobody rests their
conference
head on it, but it's something. It's
You
something
said
that
what's
you can look
you
at.
said what's going to hurt more, and I'll let me just put you into perspective. If I was going through an 0-17 season as a Cowboys fan, that whole season I am fucking pissed off. I don't even want to watch any fucking football the whole season.
Yeah.
Now, if we make it to the Super Bowl and we lose, that was a fun season to go through. I had a fucking blast. Yeah, I'm a little pissed off, like I am right now, but it only lasts for like a week, and then I'm over it. It's fine. We move on to the next, because guess what? There is hope. There is a lot of hope going into the next season. But if I'm 0-17, I have no fucking hope. I'm like, I don't even know where the fuck to start rebuilding
Brenner,
this
let me
Cowboys
ask you
team at
this.
this point.
Brenner, let me ask
And
you
it's
this.
a whole season of heartbreak. That's
When was
why
the last time?
I would rather do that.
When was the last time the Vikings went to the Super Bowl?
1981.
Oh wow. Okay, so it wasn't even in your lifetime.
Nope, but they've been in 6 NFC Championship games in my lifetime
Oof.
and lost all of them.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I would
Cowboys
much
haven't made
rather
it to
I would
one.
go back to all those seasons, every single one of those seasons. I would trade that season for an 0-16 season and get the number
You're
1 overall
crazy.
pick the next
You are
season.
crazy, Brenner. You
Because
are,
it doesn't-
you are
It doesn't
wild.
matter. It doesn't. It
I
does
mean, yeah,
not
a Super Bowl
matter.
matters, but like you didn't win one game.
That's
You
fine.
are the worst team in the NFL.
That means that you're
season.
waiting
You're
at least
fine,
2
you're cool
years
with
to
that.
win one NFL game. You would be willing to do that? You'd be willing to
That's
go through
crazy.
If it
2
meant
years
giving
of
me
winning
a
a game?
better shot of making a Super Bowl, absolutely.
Okay,
Take it
let me
from
tell you- let
somebody
me ask
who
you
has
this. Let me ask you
One
this.
guy, though?
Let me ask you
One
this.
guy? Maybe
Let me
Caleb
ask you
Williams.
this.
Okay,
Let
I
me ask
see
you
what
a
you're
question.
saying. Like, if,
No,
if I
but
had the
no,
number
no,
one
no, no,
pick and
no,
it was
because
Caleb Williams, I'd
if
be
you have the
happy.
number 1 overall pick, that means you have the highest pick in each round.
Yeah.
That's
No, I know
3
that.
top
Okay.
100 picks. That's
but
something
still.
that teams try to shoot for every year. That
Let
is
me-
setting you up for future success.
Let me ask you this. I just think that's wild. Okay, so you have a Super Bowl team that
Yes.
gets to the Super Bowl and they lose.
Yes. Yes, the Eagles last year.
Okay. So let's go to the beginning of this season, right?
Yep.
You're looking at the Eagles this year. Everyone except for Spoon was high on the Eagles because they made it to the Super Bowl. Who was the worst team last year? Do we know?
Last year would have been it was the Bears. The Bears were the worst last year.
So let's just say the Bears went 0-16 or 0-17 last year.
Yeah.
They'd be getting rid of everybody right now. They'd be
Yeah,
seriously.
If you had to bet, what team has a better chance of going farther this season? The team that was winless,
Oh, well, obviously the team.
or the team that went to the Super Bowl?
But you're getting off track of what I said.
Answer
You're
my
getting
question.
off track. But it has not. It's irrelevant to my statement, though.
Yeah.
Your question.
I just-
I said which I was when we started talking about this. I talked about Detroit and knowing pain.
Yeah, they know pain. They know pain.
Going
Trust me,
0-16
they do.
sucks, and it's like whatever. But like you said, you would stop watching. You would stop the pain. The pain would stop because you would stop caring. With
No, I
a
would
Super
watch
Bowl,
every game.
with a Super Bowl, I'm not over the 2009 NFC Championship game. You don't get over a Super Bowl loss. That pain doesn't leave you.
But
0-16, that
but
pain leaves.
You wouldn't
win
know
a
that
game,
though. You're not a Lions fan.
But
Lions
I've talked
fans
to,
went
but
through
we've
that.
talked to Lions fans. We've talked to Browns fans. I know for a fact they no longer care about that 0-17 season they had.
'Cause they're
I
doing
still
good now.
care as a fan who experienced my team getting this close. I still care about that to this day. That still hurts to watch.
We're just different people, man. I just think it's more of a hurt because at the end of the day, at the end of the season, if you have a team that's that's winless, you know there's no chance you go to the Super Bowl next season. No chance.
That's not true. You could hire the right coach. You could draft the right
Name one team
quarterback.
that's done it. Name one team that's done it. And don't say
Name one-
could happen. Don't say it could happen
So,
because it hasn't.
so for
And-
instance,
and
the
Chiefs.
Houston Texans last year. The
Chiefs.
Houston Texans last year won 3 total games. They're about to go to the divisional round this year.
Okay, they didn't
with
go
a-
winless though. They didn't go winless. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about 3-17. We're talking about winless. And I'm talking about the Kansas City Chiefs who went to the Super Bowl, lost against Tampa Bay, and then what did they do the next year? Won the Super Bowl.
They won the Super Bowl.
I rest my case.
I'm just looking at it as in season. Like if I was
bet
in
if you
season
asked
watching
those
that,
Chiefs fans, though,
I wouldn't even care anymore.
I bet you they wouldn't care about that season where they lost the Super Bowl. They don't care about that season.
Well, not anymore. It's been quite a while. But I mean,
exactly.
they still bring it up all the time.
Sorry. I should say they don't
Lions
care
went
about
over.
the wins they had that season. Like it's irrelevant to them because all they care about is the pain of losing the Super Bowl.
What are you showing us?
He's
calling a Chiefs fan right now.
Oh my god.
I don't care about his opinion on this.
Fuck. Let's move on to the Packers.
Yeah, we got other shit we got to cover. We got three other games we got
three more games we got to go over, and I'll just make it really quick. Packers looked great against the Cowboys.
Yep.
I don't think it holds up in San Francisco. I think San Francisco having the rest, having their players healthy right now, Niners win by a lot.
Yep. I agree. I think the 49ers have this game in the bag. Green Bay is going to have to go off. They're going to have to look
I'm going to stick with my dark horse pick. And
wow.
I'm
going Green Bay.
I'm going Green Bay. I'm going to ride it out.
All right.
I don't hate the pick.
I hate the pick. I hate it with a passion. All right, next up we're going Detroit, Tampa Bay. What do you guys think here?
So
I mean, props to Detroit for winning their playoff game. I doubted them. They won. Sketchy or not sketchy, they won. That's all that matters is they won.
See, this is a tough pick for me.
Tampa Bay was dominant over the Eagles. All right. Props to Baker Mayfield for doing what he did. He's been an absolute dog all season long. All right. Tampa Bay lost to Detroit at Detroit 6-20 in Week 6. Baker had 206 yards and a pick. And, the Lions in that game had 2 blown coverage touchdowns. So those were their only 2 touchdowns of the game. Other than that, they only got field goals. So those 2 blown coverages were the big, separator in the game, right? So I think this is going to be a really good game. It's really hard to beat a team twice in one season. I'm going Tampa Bay.
You say that, but who did? Somebody, man. I wish
the Lions beat the Vikings twice in one season, but that was with Nick Mullins.
I wish I had the stat, man, because I was thinking about this because you had said that, and there was
the Browns beat the Texans earlier this year, and then the Texans just beat the shit out of them. So
Dalton, I promise you, it's a statistical fact that more often than not, teams split than get swept.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not impossible.
No, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's really hard. It's really hard to play a team, beat them, and then do it again. It's proven. It's just a hard thing to do.
I'm going to make my pick. So I'm heartbroken making this pick. Very heartbroken because there's nobody else on this pod. I don't think there's anybody else.
Oh no,
there's nobody else that I've heard on any talk show that has been on
more props all season.
Been on the Baker train more than me all season, and I hate it. And guess what? I'm probably getting a Baker Mayfield jersey at the end of the season. And that also breaks my heart because that means I'm going to have 2 Oklahoma Sooners hanging up in my fucking closet right now. That sucks. I already have CD Lamb, but he's a Cowboy, so that's a reason, okay? I'm probably going to get myself a Baker Mayfield jersey at the end of the year, but...
Side note, I looked so stupid at the Cowboys game because I don't know why I always think CD Lamb went to Alabama, but I've done it 3 times this season where I was like, Alabama, and I was like, he was a Sooner. I'm like, fake fan.
Yep, he went to OU, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Detroit wants it more. I think also if you have a little bit of help from the refs here, shit.
Hold on. So
can I go against Detroit?
Did you guys see the Kirby Joseph hits on Tyler Higbee?
Yes, I did.
So
he tore his ACL. I saw that.
So let me ask you guys this. This is completely separate from the Detroit Lions. This is the player Kirby Joseph. Okay, completely separate from the team line of the Lions. This is now the second time in 3 weeks that he has ended a dude's career on that ended a dude's season, not his career, on that exact same hit. He did the exact same thing to TJ Hawkinson, ended his season, and he just did the same exact open field helmet right into the knees. Should he be suspended?
I think so. I think if it's a pattern, yes, absolutely.
Well, it is a pattern by now.
He's torn 2 ACLs in the past month.
I was gonna say it's really hard to get into that position, to be in a high pressure situation, to be in a big game and make that decision. You're trying to tackle a guy and you're going, how do I tackle him but also not end the season for him? You're not thinking that. You're thinking, I'm trying to tackle this guy. I want to stop him from moving the ball that way. You know what I'm saying? But you also want to think about the whole Sean Payton headhunting thing. Are coaches doing this? Are players having this mindset?
That's
what
trigger words.
Trigger words. You said Sean Payton. Here comes Ritter.
You said
Ritter.
Are the players? Are the players?
Dan Campbell played on the Bounty Gate team.
That's what I'm saying. Do the players have this mindset where they want to injure a player so they know?
I don't think he wants to injure the player. I think they want to hit them and hit them hard to let them know, hey, we're playing a hard defensive football game right now.
But do you think he should be suspended?
Because they haven't suspended him yet, max 1 game. I do think he should be reprimanded. And it's hard in the playoffs for the NFL to make that. I do think he should be suspended in my heart. I'm also a little biased, so I trying to put that aside.
That's what I was going to say. I think he should be suspended, but it's playoffs. If I was Roger Goodell, I'd be like, ooh, are you really going to suspend a defensive player in the playoffs? I think
as Goodell, you give him a 2-game suspension, and then you let him appeal it and move it to 1 game.
I think you put a suspension for the next season. But that is
you can't do that. You cannot. You can't do. Hey, we're gonna let you finish out this year, but next year you're in trouble.
Weird. That is weird.
What they're like I said, if you're Roger Goodell, you want to save face. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna issue a 2-game suspension for Joseph, and then you're gonna let him appeal it, and you're going to say, okay, we understand your case. We're gonna give you 1 game instead. That way, the NFL looks like, hey, we were going to give him 2, but we took a deeper look and it wasn't as malicious as we thought. So we're just going to give him 1. And he still gets suspended. They look like they wanted to be harsher on him. They win. He doesn't miss a potential NFC championship game. Now, I don't think he's getting suspended at all because it's already Tuesday, the 16th, and there's been no word on it. So I feel like we would have heard something already.
By now, yeah.
Yeah, it's almost 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern. I feel like we would have heard something by now if that was going to happen. I really do think he probably should miss time. He's torn, and these aren't like, if it was like accidental, like roll-ups on a guy's knee or something like that, but it's not. It's open field, helmet down into kneecaps. It's not like he's wrapping them up at the legs. It is piss missile at their knees with the helmet. So I do believe you got to take a look at it if you're the NFL. I do believe you should probably at least get 1 game suspension, especially with the Broncos safety. I think Kareem Jackson, was it? Isn't that who earlier this season got suspended for bad hits? So I personally think that he should probably face a little time. But, hey, that's the NFL decision, not ours. So unless you guys have any questions, we have Dalt. Are you going Tampa Bay or Detroit?
I didn't finish mine.
Tampa Bay. He did.
No, I didn't.
He said Tampa Bay.
No, I didn't.
No, he said
I didn't
Detroit.
say Tampa Bay. No, I didn't. I didn't say anybody yet. I was just saying.
What you said was
you said you're getting a bigger Mayfield, so I assumed you're going to.
No. What he said was it's heartbreaking.
Give me the fucking Buccaneers. Give me the fucking Buccaneers. Give me Baker Mayfield. I want Baker.
All right.
Baker Mayfield.
Let's go. The boys are on Tampa Bay. Except for Riley. Riley took Detroit. He also took the 49ers.
Riley is such a contrarian, and I love him for it.
I've been on the Baker train. I'm not leaving it.
Riley took the favorite. It's probably the smart pick.
The conductor.
But I believe Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team is reminiscent of the Bengals team we saw a few years back. Now, granted, the quarterback isn't as good as Joe Burrow, Baker Mayfield's, he's a baller. He's a Brett Favre.
Yeah.
He's a gunslinger. But I believe this team is just as talented as that Bengals team was. And nobody expected that Bengals team to make the AFC Championship, much less a Super Bowl that season.
The conductor of the Baker train said, "All right, everybody get off." And Kuhn said, "I'm not fucking leaving."
I'm not leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm not fucking leaving.
I almost did.
All right.
But I'm not doing it.
Last game. We got Kansas City, the 3 seed, at Buffalo.
Oof.
Patrick Mahomes in his
game.
debut road playoff game.
Insane.
Never played on the road in the playoff. He's played on neutral sites and at home. He's never been on the road. All right. Buffalo beat Kansas City earlier this week in week 14. Or earlier this year in week 14.
On a weird call.
Yep.
Not a weird call, but on a controversial.
Controversial. Okay. And I don't even think it was controversial. He's definitely lined up offsides. But it was a weird situation to have happen. They won 17-20. They might not have scored. They might not even got the field goal if that play hadn't happened. Who knows? We don't know. No Pacheco last time. Pacheco did not play in that game, so that'll be a big one to watch out for, especially on the road. Having your RB1 helps a lot.
I saw a guy say Pacheco runs the ball like he's mad at the ground.
My favorite is Pacheco runs the ball like a little kid trying on shoes for the first time.
Yeah. My other one was Pacheco runs the ball like he bites people.
Listen, man.
I'm
gonna let you guys talk about this one. I'm just gonna go ahead, say my pick. Give me Bills.
Bills.
Give me the Bills.
Wild.
Give me the Bills.
I think this is a game. We already know Patrick Mahomes is a Hall of Famer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a
I think this is a game that is going to put a notch in the belt for that conversation. No wide receiving core and a rocky season for the Chiefs. And they are going to go into this first road playoff game. And Patrick Mahomes is going to go, yeah, I'm that guy. I am that guy. He's going to make great decisions. One of my favorite things about Pat Mahomes is his ability to go, nobody. I'm running. I am running, and I'm running for 30 yards right now. And that is probably my favorite thing about him for sure.
So one of my big things about this game is a few years back when the Chiefs had just started Mahomes, right? First season, he gets beat by Brady in the AFC Championship game, and the Chiefs were like 27th in total defense. And all the Chiefs fans I talked to were like, if we just gave Pat a defense, he would be unstoppable. They gave him a top 20 defense, he won a Super Bowl. They gave him a top 15 defense, he won a Super Bowl. He has a top 5 defense this year, guys. That's not
top 3. I'd argue top 3.
Well, just statistically, I mean, top 5 defense. I really believe that this defense is not going to go in there and just get shit on. L'Jarius Sneed versus Diggs is going to be so much fun for me to watch personally. Like, I love watching those great cornerback wide receiver matchups. And if you saw the tape of what L'Jarius Sneed did to Tyreek Hill last week, he was all up in his fucking grill, ready to go. And if you can do that with Tyreek Hill, you can do that with anybody. You can do that with JJ, you can do that with CeeDee Lamb, and you can do it with Stephon Diggs. So I can't wait to see that. I'm taking Kansas City on the road. Patrick Mahomes will be undefeated in road playoff games. I mean, Riley took the Bills. I think we all could have guessed that.
I was actually about to ask that. I was like, I'm going to guess Riley and I are the only two that
I'm not even guessing. I know he's taking the Bills.
Yeah. So I like the split. I could see putting $500 on either team in this game, right? Like, both have
you guys got any bets?
Statement.
You guys got any bets going in on this game?
I'm not doing this game. I'm definitely probably going to take Houston +9 and then San Francisco money line.
Ooh, hold up! It just changed.
What is it? What did it change to?
There must have been some big money just came in on Houston because the Ravens are now a 7-point favorite. Yeah, it just dropped, dude. Literally, not even kidding you, live right now.
Wow.
I would tease it back out to 9. I would tease it back out to 9.5, and then
That's
definitely
crazy.
San Francisco money line. And then maybe what's Tampa Bay's spread?
+6.5.
I would take Tampa Bay +6.5. I could see that being a 3-point.
But yeah, that's crazy. I literally just went onto my site and I was like, oh yeah, Ravens -9.5 or -9. Cool. That's a lot of fucking points.
So here we go. Small little recap for everybody. We have Houston, Baltimore. We have us 3 all on Baltimore. That would be Brenner, Lane, and Dalton, and then Riley on Houston. Kansas City Buffalo, we have Brenner and Dalton taking the Chiefs with Riley and Lane on the Bills. So Brenner, Riley, and Lane are on the 49ers, and Dalton's taking the Green Bay Packers. And then we have Brenner, Lane, and Dalton on Tampa Bay with Riley taking the Detroit Lions. So last weekend, Riley started off real hot and then went 0-3. Last weekend, I started off real slow and then went 3-0. So who knows what could happen? I'm really looking forward to seeing it. I want to ask you boys a couple questions here before we get off. The first one is, what's your Super Bowl prediction right now?
You want me to go first?
Yep.
Yeah, you go first.
Niners, Bills.
Niners, Bills.
I think that, we're all looking at how hot the Houston Texans are right now, but we're not even paying attention as to how hot this Buffalo Bills team is.
They beat the Steelers.
Hold on. Dalton, what's
playoffs.
yours? Dalton, what's yours?
I am going to go against the colors. I'm not going to say Ravens, Niners. I'm going to say Chiefs, Packers.
Ooh. Okay.
I want a Chiefs, Packers Super Bowl.
I would absolutely hate to see the Packers in the Super Bowl. Sorry, Green Bay.
If that happens, I would throw a little bit of money down to buy a ticket for either Steven or Blake to get them together to watch that Super Bowl.
Oh, to get them. Blake lives in Sacramento for those at home.
Yeah.
Steven lives in Missouri. So get them together. I thought he was about to say Super Bowl ticket. I was like, bro,
we can't afford that.
Bro, we were trying to. I tried fucking 8 different Chiefs fans trying to give away a ticket for promotion this weekend to the Kansas City game. None of my Chiefs fans would take a free ticket to the game. Too fucking old. Bunch of fucking
That's crazy to me.
God damn.
Yeah,
I
a
was
bunch
pissed.
of pussies.
Brenner, what's yours?
All right, so mine, I'm sticking with it. It's been my prediction since October. We're going Ravens Niners. It's been my prediction for a while now. Lamar Jackson, MVP season, that defense. When you get into the playoffs, every coach will tell you 2 things when you playoff games. Tom Brady will tell you 2 things when you playoff games. Closing on defense and running the football. Ravens are the best in the league. Ravens are going to the Super Bowl.
Question for you. If the Texans upset the Ravens, I don't see the Packers upsetting the Niners. Who would your next pick for the AFC be?
If Houston upsets the Ravens, Houston is my next pick.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to know.
I
didn't know if you would pick the winner between
Houston
the Chiefs
could
and
win
the Bills.
I believe Houston could win a shootout with anybody.
Okay.
So that's why I pick Houston over the Bills in that case scenario. I believe the Bills need to be dominant in the game to win. So which they have been. They've been nothing but dominant. So props to them. I'm not saying they're a bad team or anything. I'm not trying to fucking shit on what they've done.
I'm shitting on them. They beat Mason Rudolph.
All right. Fair enough. All right, I have one last question before we get out of here, all right? I have a start bench trade scenario. Okay? 3 quarterbacks. CJ Stroud.
Is this like a fuck, marry, kill?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
CJ Stroud, Tua Tagovailoa, or Jordan Love.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Trade Tua. I'm gonna go first. Trade Tua. You said start bench. Trade Tua. Okay, so is this if they were all on the same team?
Yes.
Okay. Trade Tua. Start CJ, bench Jordan.
Spoon?
I'm going to start CJ, bench Tua, and then cut Jordan Love.
See, so I'm torn here. So think about this from an ownership perspective, right?
That's why you stick with CJ.
Hold on. You have Tua, who's a perfectly capable guy in the right scheme. Imagine the haul you could get for CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
And you don't have to pay Tua as much money. You can build a better team around him and get an absolute you could get 2 or 3 first-round picks plus some for CJ Stroud right now.
So trade the better quarterback for a better pick?
You can get a lot, but that's also why I'm sticking with CJ, because CJ is
a rookie,
CJ's
and he
a rookie.
got to where he's at right now.
I'm holding on to him.
I'm keeping him. I'm keeping
holding
him all
on to
day.
him.
Yeah.
I think in the end, I think same. I think I would start CJ, bench Love, trade Tua because Tua would be worth more than Love, but Tua is the better quarterback in my opinion. But I could get
Yeah.
more for him. So I think I would go start CJ, trade Tua, bench Love. That would probably be my three.
Okay.
But all right, let us know if you guys disagree down in the comments at all. Let us know. We want to hear all the disagreement, all the arguing. We want nothing but chaos here at White Eye Sports. And with that, I'm gonna give my game to watch out for this week, and I'm taking Tampa Bay Detroit. Spoon.
Honestly, the game that looks so much fun to watch is going to be Texas Ravens for me.
Dalt.
I do not see a bad game. I pick all four, and you
All
can't.
four.
You can't.
Just go Bills Chiefs. Just go.
I'm actually gonna go Packers Niners. That is a game that I'm excited to see. I want to see how Jordan Love holds up. I want to see how Matt LaFleur holds up against Kyle Shanahan. I think that is going to be
So
everybody.
The key for that game will be the key for the Cowboys game too. So the Packers have always struggled, always under Matt LaFleur. They have always struggled against teams who can run the ball well. And that's why they've been eliminated twice from the postseason by the Niners, is because the Niners can run the ball well. When you run the ball against Green Bay, they lose football games.
Yeah,
so
and I think that's why Dallas was trying to run the ball, and it just didn't work.
It just didn't work.
That's why Prescott ended up passing for over 400 yards because we had to
cut Tony Pollard.
Who?
Cut
Tony Pollard.
Cut Tony Pollard. He's a free agent. He'll get to walk.
Yeah, that's why Prescott was the only quarterback that had over 400 yards this week because we couldn't run the ball. We had to pass the whole game. But anyway.
All right. With that, we'd like to thank you for sticking around to the end. We kind of murmured there in a little bit in the middle with some heavily debatable topics. We want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Leave any comments down below. Leave a like, leave a follow, and we will see you guys next weekend.
Go Baker!